Maybe the reason you can't settle with them is because Allah doesn't want you to. I know. That's the last thing you want to hear right now. You've already rehearsed 100 other explanations in your head. It's just bad timing. They'll change. Maybe if I'm more patient. And you tell yourself that, because admitting the other possibility hurts in a way you can't really explain to anyone. You've prayed for them. You've argued with Allah in your own quiet way. Ya Rab, if they're bad for me, why do I love them so much? But still, you can't ignore it. This heavy, uneasy feeling that sits in your chest no matter how many times you try to reset things. You notice the pattern. Things feel okay for a week, maybe 2. Then something happens. A fight, a misunderstanding, or just nothing. Silence. And you're back in the same loop, the same late-night overthinking, scrolling through old chats, telling yourself this time will be different. But if Allah truly wanted this for you, why does it feel like you're walking upstream every single day? Why does every plan require you to break pieces of yourself just to keep it alive? This isn't about blaming them, or you. It's about recognizing something most of us avoid. Allah's mercy doesn't always look like someone staying. Sometimes His mercy is pulling someone out of your hands, no matter how tightly you're holding on. So how do you know? How do you tell the difference between a relationship worth fighting for and one Allah is protecting you from? There are signs, clear ones, if you're willing to see them. Sign 1, the peace you keep losing. You know that feeling when you've just finished praying, and for a second, your heart feels still, and then your phone buzzes. It's them. And just like that, the stillness is gone. It's not always because of an argument. Sometimes it's just the weight of knowing that every conversation, every plan, every little thing between you two somehow leaves you emptier than before. People think losing peace is about constant fighting, but it's not. It's about the way your mind is never really at rest anymore. How you've stopped noticing the Quran recitation in the background because your brain is replaying the last thing they said. How you check your phone during salah breaks and then forget you were even making zikr. And here's the thing. Peace is a gift from Allah. In the Quran, Allah says, "It is He who sent down tranquility into the hearts of the believers." If that gift keeps disappearing whenever they enter the picture, maybe it's not from Him. Think about it. There are people in your life who, when you talk to them, you feel calmer afterwards. You breathe easier. And then, there are the ones who leave you feeling like you have to rebuild yourself after every interaction. Which one does this person feel like? Because if Allah wanted them to be a source of khair for you, wouldn't they add to your peace instead of draining it? Wouldn't their presence bring you closer to Him, not further? The truth is, when Allah doesn't want you with someone, He might let you have moments of happiness with them. Just enough to show you what you think you're chasing. But He won't let it settle. He won't let it become a home for your soul. And that constant restlessness you feel, that's not you being dramatic. That's your fitra recognizing something your heart is too attached to admit. This isn't where you're meant to plant your peace. Sign 2. The tests stop building you. You've told yourself this 100 times. Every relationship has tests, and it's true. But have you noticed something? The right tests make you stronger. The wrong ones just make you tired. Be honest with yourself. Since this person came into your life, have you prayed more or less? Do you find yourself remembering Allah more, or only when you're asking Him to fix whatever fight you just had? Do you wake up for Fajr or wake up to a good morning text and then roll over? See, some challenges are like the gym. They hurt, but they grow you. They force you to stretch, to become more patient, more humble, more connected to Allah. But some challenges are like illness. They weaken you until you can't even recognize yourself anymore. We like to think Allah is testing our love to see if we're worthy of it. But sometimes He's showing us that this love is costing us our deen. And you know what's scarier than losing someone? Losing the version of you that used to feel closer to Allah. Look at your habits now compared to before them. Maybe you used to have a Quran reading schedule. Now your schedule is answering late night calls. Maybe you used to guard your salah times. Now you delay them because they'll be upset if I hang up. Maybe you used to make dua for Jannah. Now all your duas start and end with their name. And here's the hard truth. Allah will not keep you in a bond that's making you forget Him. That's not a test you're supposed to win. That's a warning you're supposed to listen to, because when the tests stop building you, they're no longer tests, they're signs. Sign 3, doors. Keep slamming, and not by accident. At first you call it bad timing, bad luck, Mercury in retrograde, if you're into that kind of thing. But after a while, you start to notice. Every time you try to take a step forward with them, something gets in the way. Not once, not twice. Over and over until it's actually kind of embarrassing how hard you're trying to ignore it. You plan a serious talk about marriage. Your mom suddenly needs you to deal with a family emergency that exact day. You save up money to visit them. Your car breaks down the week before. You buy an outfit for an important meeting with their family. They cancel because something came up. And you're not crazy. You're not imagining it. You are getting blocked. And the more you push, the weirder it gets. Lost documents, random illnesses, fights that come out of nowhere right before big moments. We think when Allah sends signs, it's going to be all dramatic, like a dream, or someone reciting an ayah that directly answers our dua. But sometimes it's not deep like that. Sometimes it's just roadblock after roadblock until you realize you're living the same annoying pattern on repeat. And yeah, you could say, it's just coincidence. But at what point does coincidence turn into a message you don't want to hear? Because if Allah wanted this, do you really think the path would be this ridiculously difficult at every single turn? Sign 4. You're losing your values quietly. Remember who you were before they came? Not the Instagram version, the real one. The you that actually cared about Salah times. The you that felt weird if you missed Fajr. The you that wouldn't let someone's opinion shake your modesty. Where is that person now? It doesn't happen in one big moment. It's not like you suddenly decide, okay, I'll compromise everything today. It's slower, sneakier. It's ignoring Dhuhr once because you're on a call with them. And then twice. And then you don't even realize Maghrib came in. It's laughing along at a joke you would have been uncomfortable with last year. It's letting a comment slide when they say, "Why do you still wear that?" And telling yourself, it's not a big deal. And before you know it, you're editing yourself. You're avoiding certain friends because they'll notice the change. You're hiding parts of your deen so you don't have to explain them. You're scrolling past Islamic reminders because they make you feel guilty now. That's the thing about losing yourself. It's quiet. No one announces it. You just wake up one day and realize the person in the mirror feels like a downgraded version of you. And if the bond you're in is making you shrink instead of grow, that's not love. That's erosion. Sign 5. Other people start noticing the change in you. Sometimes you're too close to a situation to see what it's doing to you, but the people around you, they notice. It starts small. A friend says, "You don't hang out like you used to." Your sibling jokes, "You're always on edge these days." Your mom asks if you're okay because you've been quieter at dinner lately, and you brush it off. "I'm just busy. I've got a lot on my mind." But deep down, you know it's not just stress, it's them. This person or this connection is taking more space in your head than you want to admit. You laugh less. You're more distracted. Your patience is thinner. You're not showing up for the people who actually love you for who you are. And here's the thing. When Allah wants someone or something for you, it won't make you disappear from the good things in your life. It won't slowly disconnect you from your family, your friends, your community. If the people who know you best are saying, something's off, maybe that's not them being dramatic. Maybe it's Allah sending the truth through voices you're more likely to hear than your own. Sign 6. They pull you into what you know is wrong. You notice it in your day-to-day. You start talking in ways you never used to. A little harsher, a little filthier. You laugh at things you'd never admit to your parents. You're spending hours on calls or DMs when you should be sleeping, at working, or just living your life. Your weekends change, places you never used to go to. Suddenly you're there, because it's just once or everyone's going. You're around people who make fun of things you know deserve respect. And instead of saying something, you laugh along because speaking up would make you the weird one. You catch yourself lying, little white lies to your family, to friends, just to cover where you were or who you were with. And it's not that you became evil overnight. It's that being around them makes the wrong things feel normal. That's the scary part. You stop noticing the shift until someone points it out. And by then, it feels like this is just who you are now. When Allah wants better for you, He doesn't just pull you away from bad actions. He pulls you away from the people who make bad actions feel okay. Sign 7. They're not who you thought they were. It doesn't hit you in one dramatic moment. It's gradual. At first, you still see them the way you always have, through that lens you built for them in the beginning, the one where you focused on their good qualities and quietly pushed the rest to the side. You told yourself everyone has flaws, and you'd work around them, but little things start piling up. They promise something and forget about it the next day. They talk big about values, but you notice they don't apply those values when it's inconvenient. They treat certain people with kindness, but only when it benefits them. And bit by bit, the picture you had of them starts to blur. It's uncomfortable because you realize you weren't just loving them. You were loving the version of them you imagined. That's a hard thing to admit to yourself, because it feels like you're also admitting you didn't want to see the truth. But Allah is al-Haq, the truth. And when He wants to protect you, He'll let reality surface in ways you can't ignore. There's an ayah in the Quran that people often say like it's a nice reminder, but in moments like this, it stings in the best way. It may be that you love something while it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you do not know. You think you've lost something, but maybe what you lost was never really there to begin with. That false picture had to fade, and once it does, you can't go back to pretending. And maybe that's the whole point, not to break you, but to stop you from building a life on an illusion. The truth is, you're probably not going to experience all 7 of these signs. Sometimes you'll only feel 1 or 2 of them, but that's enough. Allah doesn't need to stack every warning sign in your path before He protects you. Sometimes He whispers, sometimes He shouts. What I want you to take away from this is that protection from Allah doesn't always look like protection in the moment. It can look like rejection. It can feel like abandonment. It can leave you sitting on your bed, staring at your phone, wondering why something you wanted so badly keeps slipping through your fingers. But here's the shift I hope you make after watching this. The next time you find yourself forcing something, holding on while everything around you is trying to loosen your grip, stop and ask, what if this is Allah's mercy in disguise? Because when you start seeing His no as guidance, not punishment, you stop chasing things that were never yours to keep. You start walking toward things that won't require you to shrink, to bend, or to lose yourself just to hold on to them. And maybe the real win is this. You leave this experience knowing yourself better than you did before. You see the patterns you ignored last time. You feel the red flags sooner, and you realize Allah didn't just remove them. He returned you to yourself. If you've ever been through something like this, leave a short dua in the comments. Even just, Ya Allah, protect me from what is not good for me, and guide me to what is best. Your words might be the reminder someone desperately needs tonight. And if this video gave you a new way of looking at your own situation, give it a like so more people can find it, and subscribe so we can keep having these conversations together. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.